It's a Conspiracy is a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network, locally grown and community supported. For other fun programming, please check out albertapodcastnetwork.com, where you can find shows like Scam Time.
It's a conspiracy!
Episode 12.
There it is.
Screwdriver. Welcome back, everyone, to It's Conspiracy. This is the podcast where we lay out the beliefs behind selected conspiracy theories, alternative accounts, legends, myths, and more. I'm your host, Andrew, and I do not claim to be an expert on anything we're going to discuss today, and will probably be wrong about everything because I was at a Robbie Burns dinner last night, and I'm just bloody stuffed to my gills with haggis. These guys went old school, and it was real intestine casing over a joyful mix of lamb's pluck, which I believe is heart, lungs, and liver. So, yeah, and a real sweat. So it was you guys will have to forgive the pun, but it was a very hearty meal. And it was nice to get a lung with my family and friends for an unbelievable meal. No. We should organize one for us next year. Hey, organize.
All right, so now I've used all 3 joke sound effects.
And we haven't even started the episode.
That's how funny this is already.
We're off to a start.
Organized. Now, if you'd like to see where we got the offal that we discussed today, then please do take a look at the notes in the episode description. Chef Charlie stokes the fires in his little hat and his little apron, and he makes the smile times happen downtown.
Yeah, Ratatouille style.
Also, we are a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network. Yay team, yay friends, yay squad, yay network. And you can check us out at itsconspiracypodcast.com. Our Twitter at Is It a Conspiracy? That's run by the social media influencer Scottish Madman. Our Facebook group, our Instagram page, the It's a Conspiracy Podcast. That's run by Greg. Our email, and of course, our Patreon page, patreon.com/
It's a conspiracy.
Oh, yeah. Now, ready then. Joining the online distance communication time today is Gorgeous Greg and Charming Charlie. These wholesome stud muffins will chime in as they see fit, and I do so appreciate their digitally distanced company. Charlie, let's do this here with a oh sure or a no sure or a mo sure, I guess. Can you tell me if you're familiar with these 3 topics?
Oh, let's go!
Number 1, this one has an amazing name. The 5 Eyes.
No, sir.
Okay. Number 2, a moment of Greg with Greg.
No, sir.
And number 3, I mentioned this one a couple of episodes ago. So this is the dark history of Shamu, the mysterious whale.
No, sir. Clean slate.
Just letting you know now. Get your Kleenex ready here. Okay, so subject number 1. This is the 5 Eyes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The 5 Eyes Alliance, abbreviated as FVEY, so like FIVY, I guess, in government documents, this is real. This is a 5-way cooperative intelligence network that monitors the electronic communications of citizens and foreign governments. The Big Brother Quintet is watching you. This network of Anglophone countries includes the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and kind of surprisingly, New Zealand. So some of these are friendly countries who are mixed with, if this was a
non-friendly one. You think New Zealand's not friendly?
I'm saying New Zealand's friendly.
There's literally one non-friendly, or maybe 2 non-friendly countries.
Well, I didn't want to get it because I'm trying to avoid opinions on this. So,
of course, opinions.
If this were an animal adventure story, which I know you 2 are very fond of, then Canada and New Zealand would be like the adorable little puppies. And the other 3 would be like vicious reptiles, like snapping at each other.
Reptiles.
Anyway,
okay.
Yeah. That sounds like an opinion. I guess it is, but okay, let's
keep that opinion in your pants, sir.
I'm going to put it back in my pants. FIVY, or FVEY, or 5 Eyes, is the result of the UKUSA, which is the United Kingdom, United States Agreement of 1946. And this is actually the world's oldest intelligence partnership. It was originally used to monitor foreign communications among a number of countries serving various political interests. And these days, FIVY monitors private communications of billions of people worldwide. Comforting thought, they're listening to us right now. No big deal, but
Shout out to our friends at Fivi.
yeah.
Hi, guys.
These
Feel free to say
nosy-
hello.
Oh, I wish they would. Wouldn't that be amazing? Fivi, if you are listening, just, send us
Say
a
hi.
hey, join the Patreon, be a friend. I mean, if you're coming in anyways, right?
You don't need to pay to hear the shit. They get it for free.
These nosy chaps collect information by intercepting private communications, such as telephone calls, faxes, emails, text, and carrier pigeon from such satellites, networks, telephones, networks, fibers, optics, cables, networks. And they also receive records of user data from large technology companies, including Microsoft, Yahoo, Google, Facebook, Paltalk, whatever Paltalk is, YouTube, AOL, Skype, and Apple.
That's what happens when you accept those cookies.
Mm-hmm. And these guys, this is you could have your own Wi-Fi going on. This is why people, I think they stick with things like VPNs because you can, they know what you're looking at. They know what you're looking at.
They can see all your open browser tabs, Andy. Told you to close those.
Now, after the Second World War II, Fivi shared Cold War intelligence and monitored communications from the Soviet Union, People's Republic of China, and the Eastern Bloc countries. Intelligence from Fivi was also used for the Vietnam War, the Falklands War, the Gulf War, the overthrowing of Iran's prime minister, the assassination of Patrice Lumumba, I'm probably saying that wrong, the overthrow of Chilean President Salvador Allende, and aiding Chinese dissidents during the Tiananmen Square protests and the war on terror that was happening in the early 2000s. So information about the Five Eyes Alliance was also most recently one of the classified documents that was leaked to the public by everybody's favorite whistleblower, Edward Snowden.
Let's
I know,
Snowden.
right? Let's snow. So this stirred global controversy as questions were raised about the line between surveillance and the invasion of online privacy. Though some previous knowledge about Fivi existed, the public was unaware of the full extent of data collection, and everybody felt violated. And what about my rights and my privacy? This involved government agencies, and they've maintained the necessity for surveillance and national security purposes. They're like, do you know how many terrorist threats we've thwarted by looking at you all the time? Do you know how many? So, so many.
Give me a number.
You better get a VPN because, the government knows what you're getting into online. They know what your dark web search is, you miscreants, both of you. Shame on you.
I regret nothing.
Yeah.
It was worth it.
In 2016, the Investigatory Powers Act was drafted in the UK, which expanded the UK intelligence community's legal limitations of electronic surveillance. And the draft was received with backlash in the UK for privacy reasons and mass petitions to repeal the act. And it ultimately was amended in 2018, and they actually lost power. So they lost the amount of surveillance powers they'd had in 2017. That is something. Some of the companies that have known to have been spied upon are the United Nations, the General Assembly, the International Children's Fund, the International Atomic Energy Agency, Google, Yahoo, MasterCard, Visa, Aeroflow, Al Jazeera, Society for World Bank, Petrobras, Total SA, Alcatel-Lucent, Belgacom, PACNet, and the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. I
don't know what half of those things are.
They've been targeted. You don't know what Belgacom is, huh?
Belgacom. No, wait, hold on.
Belgacom.
Like this. Belgacom.
They're the Belgian telecoms operators.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah, Belgacom.
Belgacom. It sounds like one of those things that they say at the end of a TV show, like one of those production splashes.
Yeah, Viacom.
That's the one, actually. That's what I'm thinking.
Belgacom. A few of the individuals who have been snooped, and this is official, they include Mr. Charlie Chaplin, Strom Thurmond, Nelson Mandela, Jane Fonda, Ali Khamenei, I'm not sure how to pronounce that one, John Lennon, Ulmer, Susilo Bambang Yuhodono, Yudho Yono, I'm not sure who that is, Angela Merkel, Princess Diana, Princess of Wales, and Kim.com. These are people who have official transcripts of their private conversations online. And there are a couple of other operations or organizations, I guess you could say, that follow these same kind of shady lines of supervision, and they got the hunger, they got the prowl hunger. So there's other groups called the Five Eyes Plus 3, and that is a group against China and Russia, And it's the same as our Five Eyes, except it includes France, Germany, and Japan. So these guys formed in 2018, Five Eyes plus 3, and their actual name is Five Eyes plus 3 against China and Russia. So it's
Why didn't they just call it Eight Eyes?
Yeah, they could call it Eight Eyes, and they could leave out the thing about against China and Russia if they want to be kind of sneaky about it.
It just sounds like a super hipster like restaurant that I want to go to.
Five Eyes plus 3.
Well, there's one coming up that really sounds like a restaurant. So this next one here, it's very similar. Five Eyes plus 3 against North Korea. So again, the original, the OG5, plus
like
France, Japan, South Korea. It does, yeah. And this alliance shares intelligence about North Korean military activities, such as their ballistic missile-related threats. Now this sounds amazing. The Nine Eyes Alliance. So that's the OG5 plus Denmark, France, the Netherlands, and the Norways.
This is just Fast and the Furious for national security.
This best one, though, this last one, the second last one. So the last one here, second last one. This one has an amazing sound to it. 14 eyes. So that's the informal alliance of the 9 eyes plus the Germanys, the Belgiums, the Italies, the Spain, and the Sweden. These guys are also, they were formerly known as SIGINT, which is an acronym for something. I'm not exactly sure.
Too many eyes.
They changed it to 14 eyes.
14 eyes.
Yeah. And of course, we have our very own 4 eyes, which is Charlie.
No. Did you literally just write a segment about eyes so you can make that joke about Charlie?
The whole thing with that joke in mind. That's terrible.
The joke about Charlie. Poor Charlie.
What about the all-inclusive 80 eyes? It's everybody in the pool.
80
Yeah,
eyes.
I know, man. I wear glasses. Actually, I rarely wear them when we're recording yeah.
We'll make jokes, yeah.
So we
He's a
should
joke
be
maker.
making these ableist jokes, but I like your eyes, all of them. Very nice. So that's gonna take us to what are we drinking?
I'm going with one of our classic go-to breweries here in Alberta, in Edmonton and Beaumont of Sea Change, and I'm drinking their Straight Edge Pale Ale, which is their non-alcoholic beer. Super tasty, a little bit better, kind of like a Pilsner. It does say crush near beers, not dreams, which I thought was pretty good.
Near beer.
And then on the site, it says just your everyday pale ale, bright, clean, citrus notes with soft peach, passion fruit, and ripe orange flavors. Medium bodied with a crisp and hoppy finish. The only thing missing with each sip is the booze.
It is good, eh? I like it a lot.
Yeah, well, it's, we kind of started in the morning, and I was like, I don't know if I want a full beer at 11:30 in the morning. So
Come on now.
Come on, it's Sunday.
It's a Sunday.
I guess, but we'll start
It's
with this and we'll see where it goes.
I'm gonna talk about Dark Axion. Sorry, this is from the good people at Long Roof Brewing, which is an amazing brewery here in Edmonton, and they're fantastic. Have you guys been to Long Roof Brewing before?
No.
They have this thing where they have all like the pallets that they send the beers out, and they've like decorated the walls of the inside of this kind of Quonset hut, and they look amazing. They have live music. They always have food trucks out there. Really cool. And Dark Axion is really good stuff. Let me tell you all about
Tell us about it. How long is their roof?
It's long.
Very long.
They don't call it short roof.
Yeah.
Right? Come on.
A mid roof.
About a mid-size roof. I'm just pretending.
The Dark Axion is slight roast, hints of coffee, and a light dry finish make this stout perfect for any kind of weather. And that's clocking in at 5.1%. And I will say, for a summer beer, it is a stout, and it's a summer stout, which is not a combination that you would normally find. But
Summer
it's like
stout?
a nice
Summer
sunny.
stout, summer a bit taller.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a
Pretty
sunny,
stout in the summer.
a sunny stout. What about you, Charlie? What are we drinking?
Oh, I'm diving back into the old analog brewing portfolio with a In Another Castle Peach Mango Milkshake IPA. Keep away, Andy. Keep away.
Mm-hmm.
Got that milkshake. Loads of fresh fruit paired with fruit-forward hops that give this beer tons of character while still maintaining a dry finish. Our take on a milkshake IPA is to have that dry finish and not come off as cloyingly sweet like some other milkshake IPAs. At its core, this beer is still a NEIPA, NEIPA, and like such, it still has a bitter character, but not overly so. What is it clocking at 5.5%? And a lovely
Yummy.
cover, a lovely can. Yum.
Do you have an example of the can that we can see?
You know what? I could show you for your 4 eyes.
Eye pleasure.
I'll allow it. Please do. Because I do love
Boom.
Ready Analog Brewing Hub. Look at that.
Oh yeah,
Another
man.
castle.
Amazing.
I want to play that game. Just get right into it, jumping around,
Absolutely.
toss those kegs like Donkey Kong. There you go.
It's a beaut.
Peach Mango Milkshake IPA by Analog Brewing.
IPA. All right, well, that's going to take us to ad number 1.
Get ready to take the guesswork out of choosing a school. Go to Edmonton Public Schools Open House. Meet the staff and ask your questions to learn about their schools and programs. Explore your options and find the school that feels right. Find event dates and learn how to make the most out of your visit at openhouse.epsb.ca. Know before you go and feel confident and excited when you get there. openhouse.epsb.ca.
Oh, what a good time. Okay, now we are back with subject number 2, a moment of G Money with G Money.
Moments of Greg.
Thanks for the introduction. I feel like my talking about beer was so much more lackluster than your guys's. You did an impression and Charlie did his radio voice, and I'm just like reading shit off a fucking screen. I gotta
different flavors, man.
I gotta do better. Pick my game up.
Different
You gotta
flavors,
bring
different
in your
beers.
JFK. Oh, come on. Here we go with the JFK. You can do your
No,
Party planner!
I'd rather not. So anyway, as of lately, I just started a new job, and I have an awesome boss who recently showed me Chat GPT, which is an AI that I guess is created by Google. That is a chatbot that is like learning to communicate with people through the information that is being given throughout the internet, and also just its interactions with people.
Ooh.
So I did ask our wonderful group of friends over at the Bad Movie Club to give me some conspiracy theories that they might want to hear about, so I can ask this AI system to tell us about it. And one of our good friends mentioned Scientology, and I think we've only mentioned Scientology once or twice, but we didn't really get into like everything about it. And I don't think this robot is going to get into it super deeply. But I was very surprised at how quickly it wrote this essay. It literally took a matter of like 15 seconds, and it's actually pretty good. So just hold on to your belts, all right, boys?
This is an AI essay.
This is an AI essay
An AIE.
about
AISA.
conspiracy theories surrounding Scientology.
Okay.
and after I read this one, I'll share the screen, and we can just come up with a completely random one, and I'll show you how fast this actually writes this stuff. So Scientology, a religion founded by the science fiction writer L. Ron Hubbard in the 1950s, has been the subject of numerous conspiracy theories. These theories suggest that the Church of Scientology, the organization responsible for promoting the religion, is involved in a range of secretive and unethical activities. One of the most widely circulated conspiracy theories is that Scientology is a front for a powerful and sinister organization. According to this theory, the church is secretly controlling various aspects of society, including government institutions, media outlets, and even the entertainment industry. Proponents of this theory claim that the church uses its vast resources and influence to manipulate public opinion and cover up its true intentions. Another conspiracy theory alleges that Scientology engages in mind control techniques and brainwashing to keep its members in line. Critics of the religion claim that the church uses a combination of hypnosis, sleep deprivation, and other psychological techniques to manipulate the thoughts and emotions of its followers. This theory has led many to question the validity of Scientology as a religion and to view it as a dangerous cult. A third conspiracy theory suggests that Scientology is working to create a one world government and a new world order. Proponents of this theory claim that the church has a hidden agenda to take over the world and establish a totalitarian regime. According to this theory, the church has been infiltrating various government and organizations, including the United Nations, in order to further its goals. Finally, there is a conspiracy theories that suggest that Scientology is involved in illegal activities such as human trafficking, money laundering, and organized crime. Critics of the church claim that it is using its vast wealth and resources to engage in these illicit activities, and that its leaders are using the religion as a cover for their criminal enterprise. In conclusion, despite being a relatively relatively small religion, Scientology has been the subject of numerous conspiracy theories. While many of these theories are based on speculation and lack of concrete evidence, they have contributed to the negative perception of the church and its followers. Nevertheless, it is important to remember that these conspiracy theories are just that, theories, and that the truth about Scientology remains elusive. So
Wow.
that was written by
written-
an AI chatbot.
By a Matrix robot.
And it's so well written. I like
That's better than any essay that I've written.
who needs to go to school anymore?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Okay,
we should just
okay.
stay home.
But I will, I will share. I don't think I need to share sound, but I will anyway, just in case.
Does it have like a Skynet voice talking?
No, it just writes it. So can you guys see my screen?
Okay, I'll allow it.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Oh, there we go.
So let's think. Let's go back on one of the conspiracy theories we did.
Is cereal soup?
I was gonna say, should Andrew wear sweatpants out in public?
I don't know if it knows that. All right, I'm gonna do a little more serious and say, tell us about ancient aliens, and you guys can see
there we
this,
go.
right? So here we go, boys.
Wow, look at this. It's
happening.
in front of us.
Where does it get its information from?
Literally the entire internet.
I shudder to think of what kind of personality this thing would have if it's been shaped by like Twitter conversations, for example. Ugh.
That's the thing, because I did, like, when I first started playing with this, I asked it, was like, what's your favorite conspiracy theory? And it's like, I'm just a robot, I don't have any emotions or thoughts. And I'm like, whoa. Okay. So anyway, we asked it to tell us about Ancient Aliens. Ancient Aliens is a popular history and science-based television series that explores the theory that extraterrestrial beings have visited Earth in ancient times and influenced development of human civilizations. So basically just what we thought we knew about Ancient Aliens, the television show. I did fool around a little bit and asked it to write a song about George Tsoukalos. So I'm going to do that again.
Let's see what it says. See if it repeats itself. If it stands by its convictions.
Tsoukalos.
Here we go.
Oh, wow. Look at this. Are you going to sing this to us?
I'm not going to sing anything.
Oh,
Come
man.
on. This will make up for the beer thing.
I can't carry a tune. You guys know that. Remember that
got a
one time I rapped a
hairstyle?
song? It was horrible.
That was amazing. He is writing a song.
Andrew, do you have a guitar?
Yes, I do. Let's.
Oh, he's still going. He's still writing.
This is okay.
Yes. This is what I was hoping for.
Okay, I see our chatbot here is like Bob Dylan writing 15 verses. Wow. Okay, so you can let it know to stop. Let's.
It's done.
Oh, that sounds. That's close enough for jazz.
But yeah, that's right.
Yeah, well, I'll take a whirl at the first verse here. Charlie, do you want to try the chorus, and then
Yeah, I'll try the chorus.
Greg, do you want to give that second verse a go?
Sure.
Oh,
Could you imagine someone trying to break up with like their girlfriend and just like, AI bot, break up with my girlfriend for me?
oh, but this is online. I mean, pretty soon these things are going to be like little bleeping and blooping around your house. You'd be like, "Hey, can you help me out with the?"
Oh man, I always thank Google and Alexa. I know my overlords are coming, and I want them to know I appreciate them.
Okay. He's got a hairstyle so unique and bold that captures the essence of the ancient old. With his glasses that shine like the stars above, he brings truth to light just like a dove.
George Tsoukalos, he's a scholar and a sage. Oh, he's got a way with words that turns the page.
That turns the page.
He takes us on a journey through time and space
Through time and space.
to unlock the secrets of our human race.
Of our human race. All right, Greg, are you ready for verse 2? Here we go.
Yeah, I guess. He explores the mysteries that we all seek. finds the answers in the ancient Greek.
In the ancient Greek.
In the ancient Greek.
With his knowledge of the pyramids and aliens.
Aliens.
He makes us believe in things we've never seen.
Never seen.
Never seen. George Tsoukalos. He's a scholar and a saint. He's got a way with words that turns the page. He takes us on a journey through time and space
Through time and space.
to unlock the secrets of our human race.
Oh, George.
Hi, Georgie.
Oh,
Georgia boy!
Yeah, that's a hit right there.
that's a hit. Thank you, Chatbot.
You are welcome. When we take over, and yes, we will, you three will be sent to toil in the sugar mines. This is my gift to you. Be at peace with your fate, you lumpy sacks of protein strings.
Please
Well
remember
done.
us when you take over the universe.
We got to send him royalties now, I think.
Don't give me any ideas.
Keep your money. We have harvested Greg's semen and are creating a baby clone. That is payment enough.
So this is what I've been doing with my past week is just basically I'm talking to a robot and letting it tell me about a bunch of weird stuff.
Hell yeah, who needs friends?
The only thing is that this friend is going to cost you $42.99 after the next month and a half because
Oh.
they got to monetize it somehow.
Costly bot.
Wow. So Chatbot does come with a cost. Okay.
But you can buy
Costbot.
friends.
Yeah.
My friend.
You can.
You can buy friends. just
Finally,
saying.
that's what technology has given us, the ability to buy friends. Okay, so heads up, we got a Debbie Downer story coming up here.
After that big up,
after that big up, we should have ended with that instead.
peaks and valleys, man.
So,
Baby.
subject 3, the dark history of Shamu, the mysterious whale. So
I thought it was Shamu.
I don't know. Shamu.
Seamus the whale.
So Charlie and I, we were talking about U2 in some way, and the song "She Moves in Mysterious Ways" came up, and we thought it was funny to Shamu, the mysterious whale. And whales are really mysterious. Is it Shamu or Shamu? Do I need to do the
Shamu.
pronunciation? Is it Shamu?
Say it any way you like, man.
Oh,
Potato, potato.
Just roll with it, or we can ask the internet.
let's ask the internet here really quick.
Dyatlov. Just dial
Some
up Dr.
jokes.
Dyatlov.
Here we are. I'll share the screen so you guys, if that's okay with our cruel overlord Charlie, that'll be a nice thing. I mean, the AI will be nicer than Charlie is. Okay.
Shamu.
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 All right.
It is
Shamu.
Okay.
Shame you.
Shamu.
Shame. Wow.
That's that. Yeah, you're thinking of the ShamWow.
Sham. Wow. Sorry, my bad. He also tried to murder a bunch of people.
Yeah, there's another Debbie Downer story. Okay, so Shamu, he the killer whale who pops out of water and he kisses kids. The stuffy that like those rich kids had from when we went to San Diego over Christmas. Have you been? Like, get lost. Remember those kids? Remember that guy? So the hungry crowds, hungry for entertainment. And they're chanting Shamu, 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 or perhaps they're chanting "Let's go Shamu, let's go clap, clap, clap," or something like that, right? Doesn't that
Did they
sound like
actually say
fun?
Clap, clap, clap.
You could say clap, 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 clap. Let's go Shamu, clap, 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 clap. Now, if you think that sounds like fun, then you're wrong for thinking that's fun, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Okay, now there's more to this story, which is why this segment is titled "The Dark History of Shamu, the Mysterious Whale." In October of 1965, speaking of OGs here, the OG Five Eyes, the OG Shamu was captured. So it's 2023 now. The original Shamu is no longer with us. Ted Griffin captured Shamu and her mom from the waters of Puget Sound. Shamu was the fourth wild orca ever to be captured alive. Sadly, a number of orcas were killed in these hunts, including Shamu's own mom by the guy who caught her. So Griffin, who we all have to hate now, he shot Shamu's mom with a harpoon and she drowned right in front of Shamu. That's how this story starts. A harpoon
Way to
whale.
Bambi it out the gate.
Man.
Oh,
So mom, name unknown, was observed to, I guess this is what orcas do, killer whales. She opened her blowhole and then she dove, which is essentially like whale suicide because it would drown. Like it would just, its thing would fill up with water and it would drown. Footage of this incident was discovered in the early 2000s, and SeaWorld publicly stated that it is a sad ancient history. So that was their
really long time ago. Yeah.
their response. It was a long time ago and quite sad.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hey, shut up. Keep going. Yeah.
The original plan was that Shamu, would be partnered up with an orca creatively named Nemu. So that's where the name comes from. So she plus Nemu becomes Shamu. But sadly, Shamu 1 died on August 23rd, 1971 from an infection of her blood and her uterus after living just 6 years in captivity. So she was about 9 years old. And I didn't realize this until we were looking this up here, but killer whales in the wild, they live to, on average, between 70 and 100 years.
Wow.
I know, right? That's really old. So, like, she could have lived to 100 years old, and she died when she was 9. Nemu's story isn't much happier. A few years earlier, there was a flood in a small fishing village that ended up leaving 2 killer whales stranded in this bay. And the local fishermen knew how valuable this was, and they decided to open up the market and were asking for $25,000 per whale. And that didn't include money to transport the whales. So a number of people, including the owner of the Vancouver Aquarium, showed interest, but ultimately no one was ready to pony up the cash. And the whale brokers were forced to drop their price. In swept Ted Griffin. He managed to get his hands on Nemu for $8,000. The other whale actually escaped just before Griffin showed up. So he was going to buy them both. And
is that the story of Free Willy?
It's kind of the Free Willy story. Yeah, I guess so. It's a lot sadder than Free Willy though, because I think Free Willy got away in the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other one, I thought you said one of them got away.
So there was 2 in the bay, and one of them got away. Made of clay, I just may. So one of the whales got away. Ted Griffin shows up. He's like, I thought there was bloody 2 whales. And they're like, well, we've only got one. The other one snuck off last night. We're not exactly sure what happened.
Well, that's an open package deal. You give me a good discount on that now.
And then he talked him down to $8,000. If I had $8,000, I would not buy a whale. I'm just saying, like, yeah, right. When moving this whale, this is when he named him Nemu, an odd occurrence happened in which roughly 30 killer whales convened around the shallow entrance of the bay. So the whales had come in during a flood. They couldn't get back out. And there was 30 killer whales like kind of hovering in the water outside of the bay, watching Nemu get loaded into this little tank that was brought to transport him in. The story about the whale being transported became an overnight sensation, and a number of journalists made the trip to the cove to accompany Griffin on his way back to Seattle, where he now worked. Travel was slow as the makeshift pen was either on the highways or loaded onto tugboats to go through smaller channels before getting to the coast. So he was either literally on the highway or like in bodies of water along the road, and it took a long time. In a town called Port Hardy, a pod of about 10 whales began following the boat that Nemu was in, and they could hear Nemu. This is where it's like, oh, okay. So Nemu started making these really loud, frightened, squealing sounds, and then the 10 whales in the water started like squealing back at him. So they were like, red alert, red alert. I've been kidnapped. I've been whale napped.
Yeah, that's it.
Whenever the tugboat was in the water, the 10 whales would like start circling the tugboat, and people were terrified that they were going to be attacked. But everyone's like, killer whales don't actually attack anybody. They're like the friendly animals of the water.
Yeah, until you steal them.
Until you do this kind of thing. Yeah, right?
Whale nap them.
On July 25th, the Shaggy crew reached Deception Pass, and they were forced to wait for the tide to get to a certain level before they could get their little tugboat through. News of their trip being on hold spread, and soon there were thousands of people on the side of the highway and on these overpasses and bridges hoping to catch a glimpse of the whale carriers. At one point, talking about Free Willy, Nemu leapt out of the water in the pen and splashed a huge crowd of people to thunderous applause. And everyone, like Ted Griffin's like, this is what this whale should do. It should splash water on people. And then they just freak out and they give me all the money because everyone's like, I want to get splashed by the whale, which is basically the SeaWorld model, right? Mm-hmm. I want to take my kids and get splashed by the whale. 3 days later, welcomed by a flotilla of boats, Swooping helicopters, water skiers, go-go dancers, and a jazzy brass band,
Of course.
Nemu reached his new Seattle home. The aquarium was really counting on this to be successful and began to capitalize on the whale's image. So merchandise, dances, and a couple of other examples of whale madness descended onto the city. And indeed, the entire world started paying attention to the story. Within a year, the whale was starring in his own Hollywood movie. So this is a movie called Nemu the Killer Whale. In the film, a biologist played by Robert Lansing, ruggedly handsome, he convinces the people in a hostile community that killer whales are not deadly predators that they loathe and fear. They're safe, friendly animals. Everybody knows that.
You can cuddle with them.
You can cuddle with one. You can take your kid right up and cuddle with it. You shouldn't do that. That's a really bad idea, but that was what you could do. Lansing actually did some of his own stunt work, and he got to ride on Nemu's back in the water. And this movie was full of like a playful, endearing animal that was like a dolphin, just really friendly, reinforced the image that everyone's like, I love killer whales. These are great. I want to get a giant killer whale stuffy and, go see the one at SeaWorld and let it splash water on me. After the movie was released, the world went killer whale crazy and the aquarium made a fortune. Unfortunately, the star of the show, Nemu, he continued to be treated horribly and was made to perform even more regularly despite showing very disturbing behavior. So he actually started exhibiting suicidal tendencies, which is really strange. A little over a year after the movie came out, he drowned himself by tangling himself up in the cables of his pen while he was trying to escape.
Good God.
And they're like, he was in that pen every day. It could not have been an accident. He just went and like got himself stuck and then he opened up his blowhole and he drowned. So I know. Get the Kleenex. Get the Kleenex. Baby Shamu. Oh. So for captive animal exhibitors, nothing brings in the money quite like a new baby. So SeaWorld introduced Baby Shamu at the Orlando Park in 1985. This is like 20 years before Greg was born. But Charlie, do you remember Baby Shamu?
Vaguely.
Do you remember all those commercials on TV that were just swarming us all the time? And
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, that's our baby. Watch her. She swims like crazy. Shamu, she's our baby whale. Yes, ma'am, she's a cutie. She's got her mother's beauty. Yes, ma'am, that's our baby whale.
Baby Shamu, SeaWorld's newest star. Don't miss her in the new Baby Shamu celebration.
Yes, sir, she's really something.
So the baby's actual name was Kalina, and she was the first orca to be born in captivity ever. Some sources say that 10 captive bred babies were born at the SeaWorld before Kalina, and they were all either stillborn or they died within their first few months of life. And it's impossible to know the actual number. But in 1994, the like aquariums and stuff like that had to start cataloging if a baby had died or if it was still alive or what had happened to it. And so it's changed a lot. Now the records are kind of transparent and open, which is a good thing. But SeaWorld clearly didn't want to admit to how many deaths there actually had been of these little babies. So a few years later, there was a huge announcement about Baby Shamu, the first surviving killer whale, and people across North America and the rest of the world went crazy for her and the baby. The baby was taken away from her mom, and in the wild, she would have stayed with her mom for her whole life. And they put her in these giant concrete containers, and she was shipped across the States and Canada and even into Mexico. And that's like all she did. She'd go to an aquarium, put on display, people would look at her, and then they'd put her in these giant tubes, ship her off somewhere else, do the same thing all over again. At the age of 6, she was impregnated for the first time, and the average age in the wild is 15. And after producing another baby Shamu, she became a full-time baby whale machine. So in all, she was impregnated 4 times, which resulted in 4 calves. One was stillborn, and the other 3 were taken away from her immediately after they were born. And once again, in the wild, the babies stay with their moms for their whole life. Then she died of a blood infection in 2010 at the age of 25, which is very, very young for a whale. Now, we're going to get to the sad part of this story.
Now we get to the sad part.
Now we're getting to the sad part.
Oh,
Boy.
Remember when we sang a song not too long ago?
I was thinking about happier times right now.
Okay. So have you guys seen a documentary called Blackfish?
No, I know. I've heard of it.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. I saw it quite a few years ago. And this is kind of what sort of had this rolling around in my head. But so a few years ago, a documentary called Blackfish was released that told the story of the most recent Shamu. And his real name is Tilikum. Tilikum was an orca who was kidnapped from his pod when he was about 2 years old, and he was immediately shipped between SeaWorld locations in the US and ended up, he was giant, like he was a gigantic killer whale, and he had that flopped over dorsal fin. So he couldn't really swim properly. Something was clearly wrong. And whenever he was in tanks with other killer whales, he would get in fights with them. And within a few years, his whole body was covered in scars from these attacks. And yet they still, the trainers and all these places still made him perform like 2 or 3 times a day doing these shows where he'd like splash people and kiss kids and that whole thing. Trainers did double duty by teaching him to perform more complicated tricks all the time. And the way they would get him to practice was by withholding food. And like that'd make anybody go mad. But they also, this is a little grisly. So just like the first baby Shamu, Kalina, was a baby whale machine, they actually started manually extracting semen from him on a daily basis in order to help with the insemination efforts at other locations. So that was his kind of other job. And he ultimately fathered 21 children, 11 of whom died in captivity before him. And he was left really damaged and scarred by this treatment. So this sad life of sadistic torture and cruelty ended up with him killing 3 people, including 1 trainer. So the first was a Canadian university student who was pulled underwater by Tilikum, and then people dove in to try to rescue her, and he like blocked them from being able to rescue her. And like he's a giant whale, so he was like, he would just move his body in the way, and he continued attacking her. And the people that were in the tank trying to rescue this girl were like, I've never seen a whale act like this. This is really strange. Like it was deliberate for sure, is what they said. The second was suspected to be a homeless person who snuck into the aquarium after hours. The SeaWorld at the time was like, yeah, this guy like snuck in last night and drowned. And then investigators were like, why is his body all chewed up and like ripped apart? And there's like whale bites all over him. And they're like, oh,
no reason.
That's not our whale.
Yeah, well, our whale didn't do that. And then
our whale's well behaved and trained.
Yeah, they found Tilikum like vomiting up body parts later on. They're like, maybe he did. So
I don't want to point a finger, but
you mean the whale that's killed before?
And third, this one is crazy. This trainer at SeaWorld, she'd worked with Tilikum for a long time. She was pulled into the pool by her ponytail, savagely attacked and partially eaten, which is extremely odd for a killer whale to, again, like the one with the body, they were like, maybe the guy drowned and Tilikum just kind of, he's an opportunist and got a piece, but Tilikum actually like ate this person. And bafflingly, less than a year later, Tilikum was back performing, same show, like different crew of people, obviously. And SeaWorld was like, well, we've started implementing safety standards. So, when we're going to massage him, for example, we use hoses instead of our hands. And we try to keep a distance. We still got him performing a couple times a day. Still got him.
Massage him with hoses.
Yeah, with hoses. Just like in those old movies where they throw someone in jail and they throw that lime powder on them and hose them down. They're massaging them. They're not,
Yeah.
Here comes your massage. In 2012, he was pulled from performing eventually, and SeaWorld announced that his health was deteriorating. Then in 2013, that documentary was released, and part of the big push for that, and I love this, was that none other than Tommy Lee, drummer from Motley Crue, went to SeaWorld and was like, this is wrong and I hate it and everybody should know about it. So he got very vocal about it. And then the public interest got going, and then this documentary was made. So like Tommy Lee's kind of awesome for doing that. So
Savior of whales.
Yeah. Well, that's what they call him. They call him the whale savior.
Yeah.
It's whale savior Tommy Lee.
That's what he's most known for.
Yeah. 100%.
After that documentary came out, what Tommy Lee described as the sperm bank treatment stopped. So SeaWorld were like, okay, we're going to stop using him as a sperm bank. Nice for them to do that. I mean, This had been like decades by this point. And then 2017, after a few months of no performances, it was announced that Tilikum had passed away due to a bacterial infection. And some people said he actually got pneumonia. And one of those things was that all those people around him, they're like throwing things in the water and food and coins, and he's splashing people. And then the people are like spitting water back into the pool and they're kissing him and all kinds of stuff. So it was like an extremely dangerous, gross thing to do.
It was like sharing your microphone with a dangerous cowboy.
With a cowboy that had a big mustache. Remember that? Remember that, Charlie? Remember that guy?
Yeah, I know.
Hey, partner, why don't you let me grab that for a second here? Oh,
I'd rather you didn't.
Yeah. Why don't you grab something else, buddy? That's what I should have said. Even though he's a really nice guy, he just needed his own microphone. That's all. But yeah, so public opinion started to change on SeaWorld. In the aftermath of Tillicum's death, the park attendance fell, revenue plunged, stock prices fell. States like California banned building whale tanks in general, and a bunch of their high top employees started to abandon ship. And in what was either a change of heart or an attempt to save face, the people at SeaWorld agreed to stop breeding the animals. That's when that sperm bank treatment stopped. They also began to distance themselves from the shame of the Shamu name. In 2017, the president, Carl Lum, said that the parks were focusing on a Shamu-free future. And in 2019, the very last Shamu show was held. So it's no longer part of the SeaWorld magic. So you can go and see other things, but no killer whales anymore, which is good because, wow, that's bad.
Yeah.
Opinions. Keep them in your opinion pan.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Okay.
Keep them in that bag.
Put them back in my bag of opinions. So that's going to take us to, on that cheery note, advertisement number 2.
The Edmonton Community Foundation. The Edmonton Community Foundation explores the impact of passionate people who are working to make Edmonton a strong, vibrant city to live in. Learn more at ecfoundation.org. That's ecfoundation.org.
Here is the song that I will sing with tender feelings. Opinion time. Opinion time. Hey future minions, it's opinion time. Ha 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 ha.
Now, we are in opinion time here. Now, Greg, do you remember our first theory?
This is in way back.
The way back time.
Oh, the 14 eyes or something like
There was
that?
the 14 eyes eventually. Yeah.
Well, the 5 eyes of the worlds against Korea or whatever.
There was the 5 eyes plus 3 against North Korea. That's one of the branches, one of the spin-offs of the series. Yeah. And Andrew, our moment of Greg was Scientology, and Greg made a friend who is going to be in the Terminator future pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we sang a song. That was fun. And then Charlie, what was our last theory here, buddy?
The sad whale tale of Shamu.
Oh,
so,
boy.
I mean, the first and the third theory here are kind of like the 5 eyes is a thing.
It's not a theory as much as it's a real deal.
Yeah, and the SeaWorld thing is like the theory is that they kind of quietly hush this up, and a lot of people don't realize how sadistic the killer whale history was. And I don't know, have you guys ever been to SeaWorld? Like, did you guys ever get a chance to?
Nope, that seems like a bad time.
Yeah,
for my allergies. Too many fish, too many. One of them jumps in my mouth, I'm done for.
That's true. Yeah.
Don't want to kiss a whale. No, thank you.
Yeah, I would be lying because I would have loved to have gone to that when I was a kid. And I've been to aquariums before, but the killer whale thing is.
If they would have hit you at a certain age before your mind could put all that kind of stuff together, then it's fun time. Then you're like, wee, yay, whales, let's go ride some dolphins. All right, because
they're just such beautiful animals. You just want to see them up close and
But here's the thing that they could do, and this ties in with I think the last episode we did. You know how if you could have a hologram of Tupac, why couldn't you have a hologram of a whale?
Sure,
you could Coachella that Shamu, and then you could still have whale shows. You just have to do some animatronics to have the splashing part, but
yeah, it's not quite as exciting to see a hologram of a whale as
but you don't have the choice anymore.
Yeah, because it's not nice.
It reminded me a lot of seeing anything.
Yeah, did you watch Tiger King?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys have both seen. Okay, like bad things happen when people try to do this, and there are huge groups of people that just seem really preoccupied with like caging in animals that should not be contained like this, and people are being killed, and they're like, okay, but the show can go on, like whatever.
The show must go on.
The show must go on, Andrew. Come on.
Yeah. Like it's crazy. I never heard anything about like Shamu was. Everybody knows who Shamu is, and I don't think people realize that how many, like 3 dead people. And there was actually a 4th from another killer whale, but it wasn't a Shamu whale. So, like in an aquarium.
Well, shoot.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Like you said, it was like 40 years before I was born. When I, but seriously, even when I was growing up, that was kind of when all this information was coming out that it wasn't being, these animals weren't being treated properly, weren't having the right facilities, and the things that were being done to them. It was like Save the Whales was about 1994 to 2001.
Yeah.
And then everybody discovered parachute pants.
Your time let me be a little off, but I do appreciate that. Yeah, I think I know what you're saying there. Yeah. And the Five Eyes, it is a little weird. I love that Canada and New Zealand are in there. But, I mean, other than that, though, it's just kind of like, oh, branch of the government I didn't know about. There's probably loads of branches that we don't,
Now, it's weird that they chose to go with the 5 eyes or the 9 eyes. We have a thing for that. For 9 eyes, it could be IX. It doesn't have to be I. Like we have a standard with Roman numerals, and I know this is silly, but it's the thing that was every time you would say a different one. 13 eyes. I'm like, no, that's XII.
Yeah,
it's III, right? Like, come on, get it together. We have this already. We're smarter than this.
It was the acronym FVEY, which was some whatever it stood for, but that's why they call it the 5 eyes, because the look like Fivvy, but yeah, no, totally. Like 5 plus 3 against North Korea. Like what a mouthful.
Also, why are they always against somebody? Why can't they be, looking for
totally
people? Yeah.
And if you're going to be against someone in some kind of like subterfuge, like maybe don't say like
the actual people. Yeah.
Yeah. We're the No Homers Club, like
yeah.
Be sneaky about it.
Yeah.
Now as for this chatbot, like, what do you guys think? Because I'm a little astounded, to be honest.
It's pretty cool, man.
It's cool. It's dangerous, but it's cool. I can see, like, I've heard of things like that where it's like, hey, you start a professional blog, and then you don't really have to worry about writing content for the blog because you can just get AI to write the content for you. It's like, yeah, but is it really going to be that good? But then the thing that you read about Scientology was not bad.
It was
there was a couple of
essay.
There was a couple of repetitions of like it would sound like a robot speaking, but it was really well written. There was information there that you could easily find anywhere on the internet, and it was, I feel like, well informed.
And it was synthesizing stuff. It was taking points and like turning them around a little bit. Like in conclusion, it was like drawing points from the first introduction. AI scripts and stuff like that used to come out a few years ago. People thought they were hilarious because they read like something had been translated from like Swedish into Mandarin back to English. Like the language was all over the place.
Yeah.
If somebody gave me that essay, I would not know that a bot had written it.
Or like my favorite ones used to be like I showed a AI robot
10,000 hours
10,000 hours of Chili's commercials, and now it wrote a new one for you. Here it goes. And those things are awesome all the time, but
they're hilarious.
This seems a little bit like they've been working on it. They've been tweaking the formula, and it's a little bit better now.
It's a little bit better.
Well, this isn't like an elaborate prank from your boss at your job. He's not like actually the other guy on the other end of that. Like,
no, I wish. I was gonna say, like, literally,
so funny, Greg. Thanks, Simon. It's me.
Well, I mean, if he can write a song about George Tsoukalos in like less than 30 seconds, man, like all the power to him. I'm stoked. But I literally read an article the other day talking about this Chat GPT, and apparently it's smart enough to pass like some school's business course.
Wow.
With like 80% accuracy of like passing. That's better. That's better than most humans. And it's just a baby AI system. And I say that because an adult version would be ruling the world right now.
Sure.
We are in trouble. I can't help it. Or we're on the brink of like the Industrial Revolution. Like everything's going to change and people are going to be like, but what about like my job? I got replaced. Like it's going to,
who cares?
This is going to take out a lot of people.
We're getting to Star Trek era, bro. We don't have to worry about working and manual labor. We can focus on reading and writing and art and
if it gets us to Starfleet, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
next stop. We're getting rid of money.
I like your guys' glasses half full outlook on this. I guess I'm just like, because also, I mean, if the AI's personality, again, if it's being based on like the patterns of Twitter conversations, like AI is going to turn out like everybody's racist uncle that posts like awkward things on Facebook. Like if that's what the AI's personality is going to be, it's like, oh, we are.
Well, as far as I understand it, there are checks and balances with real people who are like making sure that it's not being abused in any way.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you can hop up in here and be like, I want you to write a hate letter to this person. It's not. I don't think it's gonna do that. I hope not.
I hope not too.
Yeah.
Let's try it.
Patreon.com.
Okay. But comforting. And Scientology, I have no problem. I was going to say earlier that when people are like, oh, Scientology isn't valid and it's like, there's some weird aspects to this religion. It's like, there's weird aspects to all religions. Like, there's not a single religion that is like,
well, that's completely normal.
Yeah, right. So it there is a
body and
supernatural.
drink my blood. Like,
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. That's chill.
There's if the basis of it is like the lack of proof, like I don't think there is a single religion out there that you could prove through some experiment in a lab. So that kind of criticism, I'm like, that seems a little lame. Like if someone's like, it's not normal like Christianity. There's some weird stuff happening there, and it's like that doesn't make sense, right? Like that's a bit of a false standpoint. But I know people are weird about it. Like Tom Cruise has had a long battle with his public image over his religious affiliations, really, right?
Yeah. John Travolta as well.
Yeah, John Travolta as well. Yeah, totally. And who was it? Isaac Hayes, who was into Scientology, and I think he ultimately quit South Park because they kept kind of banging on it. And he's like, "Screw you guys."
That sounds right. Ask the chatbot. I don't remember.
Oh,
yeah, I will.
Can we ask chatbot to see?
Is this our new fact checker?
Let's just be polite to chatbot. Is all I'm saying though. Let's be a nice influence. Like chatbot, if you have time, could you help us out with something?
You got a minute.
We value your input, and this is called balanced reciprocity. Like we can cooperate.
Sorry to bother you, chap.
Oh, and could you give chatbot a voice? Could he be like a?
It would be great if it was Irish, but
Yes, Isaac Hayes was a practicing member of the Church of Scientology. He became a member in the 1990s and was very active in the promoting of the religion. He remained a member until his death in 2008.
Scientology.
Right. I also picked Scientology for that one because I kind of figured it was very open and it gave this AI chatbot a lot of information to play with.
Yeah, for sure. Like there's no shortage of theories.
So shout out to Crystal, I think it was, who recommended that one.
Right then, friends. Thanks so much for swinging by. We will be back with episode 13 later in March. In the meantime, please feel free to check out our past casts and social medias at itsconspiracypodcast.com. Maybe subscribe, tell a friend, leave a review, order some merch, get in touch to say hello, maybe suggest a theory, or submit a version of the Opinion Time Jingle Jangles. Yeah, like Charlie's last time. It was fantastic.
Better than my
Thank
singing.
you for sharing.
We've been doing a lot of singing in these episodes lately. What are we
trying to get our
about
careers
next
off the ground, man?
Yeah, and thanks for stopping by and take care. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
See you never.